We have institutionalized a culture, colleagues, of ensuring that at least each and every quarter of each academic year we make a reflection on whether have we been able to turn things around in terms of the assignment that we have been given. So this particular gathering today is one of those important milestones that we have customarized ourselves with, so that when we make achievements with the people HOD. When we fall by the wayside, we fall with the people. So we can't all of us be surprised about the developments in terms of how the schooling system in the country is unfolding, and in particular in the province. And therefore, it becomes important that from time to time you create a platform so that you can be able to give that feedback to the multitudes of the people of the province who are dearly waiting for what is actually unfolding and what is it that is there for them. But key to the discussion today, colleagues, in as much as we're going to give you a comprehensive report on number of facets that we have been able to deal with ever since we left you at the beginning of the year. But key to the discussion today is what I regard it as a Know Your Learner campaign. It's going to be key in the content today. Whether are we capable of knowing each and every learner by her name, by performance in terms of the subject, by performance in terms of the schools, by performance in terms of the individual teacher that is tutoring that particular learner, and also the socio-economic conditions of that particular learner individually, so that you can be able to break the cycle of poverty that is embedding the communities that we are serving. So that's why I'm saying key to the discussion today is going to be that question. Are we capable of knowing each and every individual, not by statistics now? Who is this one? Where is she coming from or he coming from? What are the prospects of her passing? What are the conditions of her household? Can you then link the intellectual capability of this learner to the environment outside there? Are there no obstacles in terms of psychosocial problems that are happening outside there in order to make a breakthrough for this particular kid? Because I'm just flagging up that issue because there is no parent that sent a kid in order not to pass. So we must move away from this statistician approach or theory or methodology of counting kids, how many that have passed and how many have not passed, because akukho mzali othumele umntana for uzoferisha apha. Wonke umzali uthumelele umntana wakhe into yobana makazopasa apha, awugqibopasa abe lulutho kwifamily, abe lulutho kwi-communities, abe lulutho in the country in general. So we must, at the back of our minds, must be that question. How do we position these kids in a better manner that can be of importance for the nation? So as we open up this invite, colleagues, we are giving that progress for the first quarter in terms of the academic year, as I reflected, in terms of the opportunities, the possibilities are waiting for us to explore this academic year, because we are a Department of Education. We can do everything, but if we are not academically sound, there is a reasons for us to be questionable. You can build all schools. If these kids have not passed, then your existence here is questionable. That must be in everybody's mind, that anything else is supporting the core function which is the intellectual ability of the nation, which is embedded in the constitutional setup and the mandate of the sector. So that's why I'm then saying, for us, we must be able at all material times to guard jealously whether are we achieving in strengthening up the intellectual ability of the nation using the platform of basic education as a sector. So, Program Director, it is also important to let you know that we are addressing this media briefing today significantly coming from a background of a transformed position, because we are no longer having an acting HOD now. We are having an HOD. And here she is. So the HOD that we are formally introducing to you today as well is coming out of the sector for quite a number of years with a vast experience, has grown through the ranks and files of this sector. Is somebody that even if you wake up at 1 o'clock in the evening, can answer awkward questions for this sector. So I'm saying Sharon Mastorp is one of those rare breeds that we have in the sector that we are proud of. But significantly again, colleagues, we are also introducing her with a cohort of 24 senior management services members. And key to that is that we have been able to answer the question, whether are we responding to the issue of equity? Whether are we able to respond to the issue of women empowerment as a sector? So out of that 24, we are introducing to you 16 females that have been appointed as part of the top management in this particular department, which is also commendable, understanding the levels of patriarchy in the society. Because when you talk about patriarchal tendencies, they also comes in terms of government and also in terms of institutions that you have in the society. That's why there's been a serious debate in the past decade, HOD, whether can you be a pastor or a ministry in whatever congregation if you are a female. Sisuka kuloo nto apha yento yobana sinawungcwatywa nguwe because ungumama, ungumfundisi. Noba ungabe ufundele ubufundisi bakho ubungumama sinawungcwatywa nguwe. Do you get my point? So this issue of patriarchy has been a thorn in the flesh of the society in general and also in the flesh of government. So there must be strides that reflects the dimension in terms of ensuring that we heighten up the women empowerment and also put at the center the issue of the transformation as a key strategic area and a goal for this particular department. It is also important to note that we work colleagues with a number of colleagues that are coming across the region. Currently, we are hosting a delegation from Lesotho. It is going to be here for almost the whole week. We are hosting a delegation from KZN. It is also here for the whole week. The one from Lesotho is coming here in order for benchmarking on the e-learning and technological advancement, the global best practices, and the latest trends in the digital transformation. You will know for a reason that this is one area, Eastern Cape, that is very advanced on. The issue of e-learning, digital transformation, and technological advancements. So at least we are one of the best ever provinces on this particular one. So that's why Lesotho is here. Yesterday or that day, Ms. Bula they were taking them to the institute in Kofimvaba for them to get a sense on what is the linkage between the institutes that we have and the content of what they have come here for. Again, KZN has come here in order to get a council around the issue of the primary education reading strategy and program. Remember, the country has been cited as one of the countries that have got a crisis of reading and learning comprehensively of kids at the primary schooling system. That's the report of TIMSS, the international body. So we developed the reading strategy earlier last year, and we developed the programs that talks to that sometime last year. And we are one of the provinces that currently are being used in benchmarking as a direct response to that question. Because these are international findings, not national findings. These are international findings that in some of the underdeveloped nations, kids are unable to read and write with comprehension. And therefore, hence government must begin to develop programs that talks to that. So I'm saying KZN is here in order to check and balance what could be the best practice that they can take it back for them to be able to deal with that particular question when they go back over the weekend. Colleagues Program Director, our performance trends over the 5-year period has shown that the province is improving each year across all grades, which is commendable, and the improvements are particularly pronounced in terms of the intermediate phase and FET band. There is also a corresponding increase of learner enrollment in the FET band, suggesting high levels of throughput and improved retention rates. This trend shows that the society is gaining confidence on our schooling system, especially in the FET band. We reported this, if you still remember last time, that we are having an anomaly here as a province, that our schooling system is getting attraction in the FET band, not in the bottom. And that could result into more high schools having more kids, and by extension, having more classrooms that would have overcrowding in terms of the learner enrollment. But of course, we are responding to that in terms of the infrastructure. And I'm then raising this because you must be systemic when you manage these things. You can't have an increase in the FET band and not have increase in the lower grades, because isakwenza loo nto ube nenhloko enkulu, ube namazantsi amancinci. Kanti ize isystem yakho funeka ibe nkulu emazantsi, ishape okwe pyramid, so that you can be able to make sure that your retention and also your throughput is aligned in that particular regard. And I'm therefore saying we welcome that confidence from the public, which has brought a number of learners coming back into the province, and which will make us a bit having to upscale the capacity of the institution in ensuring that admissions are well planned, and also the execution at the level of the FET band and other grades are quite very good. As a province program director, we have registered the high number of grade 12s candidates ever since 1994, with 111,118 learners having written a term 1 assessment. Of those, 97,850 learners passed in the first term, with 87.5 pass rate. So in actual fact, it means from 1994 to date, we have got a high number of grade 12s now, from a statistic point of view. And again, we have hit the record of 87.5% in the first quarter of this year. Now, the HOD and the team are busy preparing for the second quarter to wrap up the work and see whether there is any relationship between the first quarter and the second quarter in terms of the performance system, and what are the projections for the fourth quarter in terms of the end year results. But equally to that is that the sector has been able to improve performance yayo to 4 districts above 90% in the province now. And also we have been able to take almost all the districts above 80%, which is also a milestone that we can be able to celebrate.